Hey guys, this is the Smut
Spice and Everything Life podcast.
We're your host. I'm Chelsea.
I'm Marie.
And today we are reviewing Harem. I'm so excited. It's so hot.
So last podcast we did one that
That was hard.
That was a hard one. This one, well, it was fun, and it definitely has some smut and spice.
It's all
everything.
It's all right up my alley. It's all Mafia. It's all hot men.
Everything that you want and more.
So if you haven't read the book, Smut Rule is about Jessie Heaton, who is taken. Well, she's not taken, but she gets into this Russian's inner circle trying to find the guy that took her, slaughtered her family. And in the process, the Irish Mafia hunts down Nikolai and kills him, and they find her. She offers herself as quote-unquote prisoner to help them because she's a hacker.
Right.
She offers her services in trade for her life. So there was a moment between her and Connor.
Connor was like...
And that's why when Shane needed him to back him up, he was like, oh no, maybe the twins are right. Maybe we could use her services.
So, let's get into it. First off, this is my first time reading it. She was all about some Ryan Rule. Like, you gotta read it, you gotta read it.
Now you know why.
And I have to say, it started off so fast. Like, there's so much explosion. I was like, oh, something's weird here. She's hacking something. And the older, creepy guy is obviously doing something he shouldn't be doing with her. And there's like, boom, 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 explosion.
Yes.
And then I'm like, what the? I had to go back and I was like, did I miss something? Like, what the? And then it just immediately goes into it. But then it starts tapering off and it's kind of slow. So it's like you get whiplash only to come back in like slow motion.
I feel like that's how the book pace is the whole thing. It's like super fast, slows down. Super fast, slows down. And I like that.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. It definitely kept me entertained.
I rated this book, I think either a 4 or a 5. I think I rated it a 4 because I can't stand cliffhangers. I understand why you do a cliffhanger to entice you to read the next book. I get it. But
hey, Chelsea, have you read the whole series?
I have, in fact, read
the
whole series. And as soon as I'd finished one, you bet your ass I was going to buy that next one. Bet your ass. Because I was like, nah, I gotta know. I need to know right now. How would you rate this spicy?
I also rated the whole book a 4. Mm-hmm. Spicy, I gave it about a 4 too. You have a variation depending upon which of the 4 she's with.
Or which group.
That's what I'm saying. You get a whole kinds of stuff going on in here. It's a reverse Harlem Mafia dark romance is what the genre is.
Why choose? Yeah. Because why?
If you don't like reverse Harlems, don't read it. If you do,
read it.
I
highly suggest you just read it anyway.
So, the explosion happens, they come in, they kill everybody, and they're about to kill her, and Connor intervenes with Shane, blah, 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 whatever. She ends up going with them. They're in the car. And you could tell, like, she doesn't know how exactly to act around them. And they're huge. She's little. I think she's like 5'4".
Yeah.
And she's
small.
Yeah, she's on the petite side. Then you have these massive steroid-injected men. And she's sitting back in the back seat with the 2 twins. And they're like, their thighs. It's kind of like how we're sitting right here. Like,
yeah,
we're like,
we gotta be squished like an Oreo when we do this.
They're rubbing up on her, and one of them, Mikey or Liam, goes up to her, and because she's like kind of tense, and he's like, we don't bite unless you want us to. And I'm like, bite me! Oh my gosh, if you want to get my panties wet, bite me! Gosh, I love being bit. I don't know what it is, but I like it. I like it a lot. Do you like it?
Oh, yeah.
Then they get back to the house, and they have a physician that comes and treats them when needed.
They found her a long time ago, and they've kept her around.
She tells her right out of medical school. That's
she tells her, I've known these men a long time, and they're actually really good men.
But she's like, the physician's there, and she's giving her a workup. Jesse's like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And she said, well, we're just gonna make sure that you're okay. And she's like, what do they expect to do with me? And she said, well, there was an explosion, so we just want to make sure you're good. And she's like, then why are you taking blood? Or just to make sure that there's no diseases or anything in the blood.
That
no
you can
STDs
transfer to them.
transfer.
She's like, how would I do that?
Yeah. Look, I would be asking the same questions.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you taking my blood, and what the do they plan on doing me? Because, I mean, they're super sexy, and I just like to know ahead of time.
Can I get a warning, please?
Or not, she likes it when you don't have a warning, but... Anyways, I definitely would be asking some questions. I don't know how I would feel in that situation, but then again, she had a lot of stuff going on with her.
I mean, let's backtrack a little. Would you have offered yourself as prisoner?
Hell yeah. No. I mean, I would.
Not knowing how they were going to treat you, though.
Here's my thing, though. He was going to kill her.
Touche.
I mean, I will offer my services because he was going to kill her.
Sometimes there's worse things than being killed.
True.
I mean, she didn't know them.
No, but they were sexy.
Take your chances, I guess. Guess I would.
I mean, I would have offered my services too.
So you would have wanted to be shared by four hot men.
I don't know. I don't know about the sharing. Because her and Connor had a connection.
Yeah.
Right at the very start.
Because going into this book, I don't think I realized what a Why Choose was. Like, I just started reading it off of like a recommendation on TikTok or something.
There's not a lot of people who talk about
actually
Harem Rule on TikTok.
There's not. It's so underhyped.
Yes.
It's so underrated.
Yeah. You might have saw it looking on like Kindle and stuff, but there's not a lot.
It was on Tyranny.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the only one on TikTok I've seen that's talked about it. It was her. I can't remember if this was my first Mafia, and that's what got me into it.
Probably because you went like balls to the wall running for Mafia.
Actually,
Mafia.
That's all I want to read now. I do think this was my first Mafia. And I had not read like a Why Choose. I'd read Credence, and I'd read Five Brothers. But it wasn't like the Five Brothers shared her, So when I read this, I'm thinking like, which one is she going to pick? And I immediately assumed, Connor is the one for her. I thought, yeah, maybe she'd have sex with him. But Connor, I was like, she has to pick Connor.
I did not see that coming the first time. Didn't see it coming.
Mikey and Liam?
Yes, I saw Connor.
You thought she was going to have sex with Connor first.
Yes, that threw
I did too.
Curveball.
Me too. I thought she was going to have sex with Connor first. And then she was with Mikey and Liam, and I was like...
Okay, hang on a second. Because we're jumping ahead. The whole... Back to the connection that her and Connor has, like throughout the entire book. Like her and Connor have a connection.
Oh, absolutely.
She has a connection with all four of them, but she has like the
strongest, deepest on another level with Connor.
Like she and Connor are the same.
I feel like you don't find this out until later in the book, so I'm not going to spoil anything, but you find out about her past trauma more in depth and Connor's trauma more in depth, and I feel like their past trauma is really what helped that connection along.
And he even says, I don't believe in love at first sight or any of that shit, but this woman made my heart pound and my dick hard. So was it love or lust? Or was it her winning personality?
Let's just say it was all of the above, because if he saw her, he was obviously attracted, and then he got to know her a little more. They started connecting. They had sex. They connected on a sexual level. The more they learned, you could tell that connection just kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yes.
And Mikey and Liam are just like the fun, lustful playboys.
Shane's like, don't get connected.
Do not. Just have sex with her and that's it. And
he was worried from the very beginning, though. He's like, don't develop feelings.
He never trusted her.
Shane is the eldest. He's the leader. He always calls her little hacker. Yeah. And that he calls her that throughout the entire book. That's
until he starts calling her sweetheart.
Yeah.
She was like, you just called me sweet.
Stop it. I don't like it when you're nice.
I like asshole Shane. Okay, but I'll go back to being an asshole tomorrow.
Yeah. He is very against them having any kind of feelings towards her because he thinks that she's a spy. Because she was with the Russians. And she's a hacker, and he thinks it was planted. But it's kind of like Shane said, they didn't know we were coming to plant her. But I love that he calls her Little Hacker, that nickname. I love it. I love the nicknames that they have.
I love that the only nickname she has for anyone is Connor, and that's Big Guy.
Fuck! Well, I mean, Shane's asshole. But when Connor's trying to fight the feelings, and Mikey and Liam keep fucking with him. It's like, stop fucking with him. He can't help it that he's got a hard on for her. And Connor's like, shut up, no I don't. Leave me alone. Oh, I didn't even mention this. Shame on me. They're Irish Mafia, and y'all know I got a thing when it comes to
Irish accents.
But Irish, I don't know. Just mix my penis. So,
this whole book was fun for you then.
If I'm doing the audio, I listen to the audio, and then I go back in the book and I make all my notes. That's what's on my Kindle here, is all my notes. So I can keep time track, I guess, when we're going and doing all this. But yes, if you're into audios, I would definitely recommend the audio. If you like accents, I've got a thing when it comes to Irish accents. I don't know what it is. I think it's the sexiest accent. Irish and Scottish. Oh my gosh.
It could have been better if they had collaborated.
But it wasn't
bad.
Yeah,
like,
they did a
great job. They did a great job.
So when Shane starts talking, the first time you hear him talking,
it sounds a little Russian.
His voice actor was confused. He was a mix between Irish and Russian, and I don't know which.
I got it. After you told me that, I was like, ooh, I see it.
And then it evens out, and he doesn't do it anymore. But I'm
like,
like, I was so confused. Like, wait, hold on. Is he Irish or is he Russian? What are we doing right now? She starts her period when she's there. And Connor comes in with the candy bar, and he says, is there anything else I can get for you? And he says his dick immediately gets hard. I mean, it's not like she wouldn't have said yes.
I would have said yes.
After she has her period, and, I guess she's getting more familiar, like, oh, they're not going to kill her, but now she's starting to, like, twiddle her thumbs, like, she doesn't know what to do. She was going stir crazy. She's like, y'all haven't given me anything.
You know what? Maybe before her period. She walks in the kitchen and she's eating Lucky Charms, and they're Irish, okay, and they're eating Lucky Charms. Did anybody catch that? Because I thought that was hilarious.
Yes.
But,
And Connor goes, Mikey's going to get mad at you.
Yes! For eating his Lucky Charm. And he realizes what he says, and he's like, oh my god.
I don't think Mikey would have been mad if she ate his Lucky Charm. Or at least one charm.
No, but that's when they have that real intense flirtation going on, and he tells her that he's going to give her something to do.
Yeah. And she does it, and she goes looking for him.
Yeah.
And he's in the gym. Working out. And nothing but shorts.
And nothing else.
So he's got, Celtic symbols, an angel, and a phoenix on his body. I don't know if y'all know what Celtic symbols are. Do you know what Celtic symbols look like?
Yeah.
Okay. They are so sexy. I don't know what it is about a Celtic symbol, but it is beautiful. Put that on a sexy, strong, muscular body. And then you can even I love Celtic music. Have you listened to Celtic music?
I don't know.
I'll have to play you some. I love Celtic music. I think that's my soul. I think I need to go to Ireland. I think that's where my soul is. But anyways.
Don't they all have the same Celtic symbol? Or do they all have the phoenix? They all have a matching tattoo. I may have made that up.
We're making up shit, but I mean, it sounds hot. I'll go with it. So she does it super quick because she's like one of the best hackers.
But downplays her talents.
Because she doesn't trust them. She says, I don't know how much I need to tell them, like how good I am. So she's downplaying, but she's going fucking stir crazy. She needs something to do. And Shane still doesn't trust her, but he knows that she's good because of how quick she got that one job done that Connor put her on. So he knows that she's good, but he's still like, I don't trust you. There's something about you.
I mean, he's not wrong. She wasn't lying, but she was withholding the truth.
And then Shane makes a call to his buddy Jax and Alejandro.
Their accents were so different than I imagined.
Yeah.
Jax, more so.
I think it's a struggle for one voice actor to come up with
some multiple accents.
Yeah. But I will say, if they piqued your interest, they have their own LA series. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I am.
But Jax and Alejandro has their own series that, if you want LA instead of New York, get a different scenery.
There's multiple. She has multiple.
Yeah. Chicago, LA, New York. Those are the only two that I know of. There might be more.
I don't know. I've seen those, though.
So, I have a lot of Shane's an ass in my notes here.
Because he is an ass.
A lot, at the very beginning, the way he came across, I was like, he's an ass. Like, he's fighting his feelings, obviously, but he's an ass, and I don't like him. And then the fact that she gets so easily persuaded by his looks, not his personality. Did not have a winning personality, but she gets so easily wet for him. So Shane's biggest thing was she's a curvy redhead with a smart mouth, and that's what I think he liked about her. So there's that sexual energy that's growing day by day by day by day with all of them, and Shane's like, it's gonna have to come to a head. I wish my brothers would go out and get laid just to diffuse the tension. Maybe then I could stop watching her as well, is what Shane said. So sexual tension is going on between all of them in the house. She's getting close to all of them, but I feel like Connor has her heart, but Liam has her mind, I guess. Because he has that sit-down talk, and Liam is the youngest by like a couple seconds, because him and Mikey are twins. So Mikey is older by like 14 or 16 seconds. So Liam is technically the baby.
I want to say I did the math.
You have
Shane's 36, Connor is 34, and the twins are, I want to say, 8 years younger. So I want to say they're around like 26-ish.
Something like that. Sounds right. So Shane is the boss. Connor is second in command. Mikey is the chef because he wanted to be a chef, but with their jobs, it's just not feasible. And then you have Liam, and he says he's the fuck up.
Majorly, he, if something goes wrong, he really beats himself up about it hard.
Her saying, that's not the way I see it. And he said, okay, how do you see it? And she goes, you're the buffer.
You're the one that keeps them all from killing each other.
Yeah. Anyways, Shane and Connor go out.
They went to a wedding because the twins aren't allowed to go to a wedding anymore because Mikey fucked the bride in the bathroom.
And the groom found out, and so she said, well, why aren't you allowed to go, Liam? And he said, well, because they found Mikey and I beat the shit out of somebody or whatever so Mikey could get away. I was the getaway driver. So they're at home babysitting Hacker.
They're the epitome of double trouble.
Seriously. They are. So they're at home with Jesse, the little hacker, and they're watching a movie and everything's innocent, and they were teasing like we can play poker or strip poker. They don't, but they watch the movie, and the next thing you know, there's some feeling going on, thinking a little bit and a little that, and they can get closer and closer, and Liam leans down and kisses her, and that's what starts it. And then Mikey's over here like touching her cooter, and it's getting wetter and wetter, and then she pulls back, and then she starts kissing Mikey, and then Liam in there. I'm like, whoa, too fast, what's going on? What the freak? What the hell? I have it here. My fingers graze the back of her pussy through the fabric, and she groans into Liam's mouth as she untangles her fingers from mine. Double fuck. I figure this is my cue that I'm not a spectator here. Turning my body towards her, I reach up and pull her hair back from her face, planting a kiss on her neck and making her moan softly. Sliding lower until I reach her slick folds. I brush 2 fingers between them. Fuck, you're so wet, Red. Oh my god! Yo, that was just a tidbit. There is way more!
That wasn't even spicy.
No! And they're like, I can smell how wet you are. And I'm like, what I feel about that? Because why can you smell her? Well, I did. She'll even say, I'm creaming their dicks. And I'm like, why is she smelly and creamy? And why the only one that's not creamy or smelly is yours creamy?
Oh, no.
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 Does it have a smell?
I don't think so. I hope not.
I mean, I know it has a smell, but
not
strong enough
so you don't have to be right there. So you weren't expecting that threesome to come along. I wasn't either. I really expected her to be with Connor first.
I know we just talked about it, but I need to say it again because they're in the middle of it right here. If she smells this good, can you only imagine how good she tastes, Liam? Because this is what Mikey is telling her. And as you can see, I'm going to put, OMG, I lost it. Cause, and then she's like, or they're like, can you take us both? And she's like, yeah. Now? Have you ever been fucked in the ass before? No.
I think she said yes.
Yeah. No. She said yes.
But you said no.
Me, no.
Me as Jesse, I'm like, yeah. Me, I'm like, I don't know about that.
Okay, look, y'all. My husband likes to screw with me because he knows I don't want to do it in the booty hole, but I call it the no hole, but he will like poke it sometimes to screw with me. We're in the middle of it. Well, these past couple of times he's done poked it and I don't say nothing because I'm like, maybe I'll be able to try. mean, why not, right? Thanks, Ryan Rule.
I'm open to suggestions if you are.
So, like, yeah, he done, he's like, poked it twice, and I'm like, anyways. I personally love this when the authors add this because Jesse asked him, do you have a condom?
Mm.
And their reply was, no, but we know you're clean and we get checked regularly. That pretty much saying that's what the doctor was doing, making sure you're good to go. And so she's like, okay, yeah. And she's got the IUD, so they know there's no chance of babies, and they're down for it, and she's okay with it. But I love it when the authors put that in there because it is so important to ask. You need to wear condoms if you're going to be sexually active. You need to get checked. If you don't have a partner that is clean, and that you're clean, and you only have one partner, or multiples, continually, you need to get checked. And it needs to be consensual. And if you're not going to, then you need to be protected.
Yeah, I do love that she put these specific things in place in the book to show,
make you aware.
This is important. It's so important that I'm going to put it in my book.
Ask for consent. Be safe. Wear protection. Know that everybody is clean. With Connor and with Shane or whatever.
They all have this discussion.
Yes, and they all ask her, are you okay? Pretty much, if you say no, I'm not going to touch you. But if you don't say no, it's fair game and this is going in and I'm going to be bingity bangity boom.
Well, I don't know if we're there yet. Yeah, we are. We passed it. But backing up a little, there's a discussion with Shane in his office where he tells her, my brothers are going to try, but you have the power to say no and they will back away.
That's right, he does.
He has that discussion with her, it makes her feel small.
Yeah.
Because he says,
the way he says it to her.
It came up because he asked, basically, was she one of Nikolai's whores? And she's like, well, I wasn't his whore, but he did, push himself on me. And he's like, well, you won't find that here.
Because she said she didn't have a choice not to.
Yeah, she didn't have a choice not to.
And he was like, so you're one of his whores? And she's like, no, you can't be a whore if you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So he makes it clear they're gonna try some things, but you can say no, and they're gonna back away. They're gonna respect you.
So I again, so important. I'm glad she puts that in there. I was talking about the asshole and she's so tight, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna say it. Rewind. I'm going back to the booty hole thing, okay?
She can't get over this.
I can't get over it because I have to say one thing. Not really. It's going to be more than one thing. But Liam is in her cuckoo, and Mikey is going in the back door. Or is it vice versa?
No, I think you're right.
Okay. Anyways, first off, you're in a hole where poop comes out. Okay? Your hole is literally tight, and then opens up just that much. If you have a really big one, it's like this much. I mean, sometimes you have a really big one, and there might be blood because you don't ripped it. But usually, I mean, it's like, this big, right?
This is so unhinged right now.
It's like this big. So I just didn't feel like it was necessary for Mikey to inform Liam, oh God, she's so tight. I mean, it's the asshole. Like, how big were you expecting it to be? Okay, so they're in full force of it from the backside, front side, every which way. And she looks up
to see Connor and Shane watching.
Oh gosh, they're home early. I don't fucking care. I ain't stopping.
I would have been like, ha me. Go away.
They don't care. They're like, I don't care. I'm getting off and it's going to be great. But then she must like it.
Because she said it somehow makes it hotter.
Yeah, because she hadn't gotten off yet. And then she just, when she saw they were watching her, she's like, throws her head back. Oh, And they're just, so, okay. So that's over with. She goes to her room. They go to their room.
Next morning,
Connor is taking her shopping because she has no clothes. I mean, she has clothes, but not very much. They go to a boutique that he frequents with other women, and he's got a very personal connection with the boutique owner. And he's in there, and he's looking at clothes, and she's trying them on, and he's sitting there. He's like, I don't have to watch you if you don't want me to. And she's like,
well, you've seen it all anyway.
Yeah, well, you've just seen your brothers inside every hole, so why not? So she goes, and she's trying on these clothes, and Connor's getting hotter and hotter, and then the next thing you know, he wants her to try on panties. And they didn't They didn't stay on very long. He goes, I want to see you come for me, Jessica. I want to make you come on my fingers and then my mouth and my cock.
Hot. They do it in the boutique. Oh my god.
I know you believe that I'm a pussycat, but that's because you haven't seen the real me, Angel. He is an animal. I keep him safely locked away in a cage, but you make me want to let him loose.
Don't that just make you feel some type of way?
Yes. Stop milking my cock. I won't last 5 minutes. Okay. How wet do y'all get? I understand that's the next day. I get that. I truly, truly do. She's probably wet. However, he already makes her come once on his fingers. Then he's going right back to it.
I hope she's well hydrated.
She's got to be.
I hope she's drinking
I just
her water.
don't understand. The girl's like a freaking Niagara Falls down there. She's
what
gotta wear a
I'm
pad
saying.
all the time. You ain't telling me nothing.
This is what I'm saying.
She's ready to go all the time. And again, the milking. Why is it creamy?
I didn't think that's what that meant.
No, it just means wet. I'm just saying.
I thought that meant she was like
Pulsating?
Yeah.
Maybe it is that. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Look,
Wait.
and I have another thing. Jesse makes me want to buy those Kegel balls. For real. Because the way these men describe her clamping down and grabbing hold of them where they can't even move.
I just want to be able to be Niagara Falls.
Right? Whatever. I'm dry. And it's not because of my husband. By no means. He is sexy and he's fine and he's got a perfect pecker. What? I'm very lucky. I have kids and I don't have time. We don't have time
for all that foreplay.
Yeah, I don't have time for foreplay. Because if we had time for foreplay, I'd probably be Niagara Falls too. Maybe that's why they have it. But I don't know. As quick as they are, there is no foreplay.
Foreplay is so underrated.
It really is. I need foreplay.
Same.
I need that like licked and bit, a little sucky action, something. Like I need need like a X marks the spot. But yes, some foreplay is nice. I mean, when I do have foreplay, it's there it is.
I don't get that often. I mean, having kids, you don't get that often. And like reading this book gives you a foreplay.
No, it's like squirt and let's go. Because that's what I'm like.
Yeah.
If you want to judge me, judge me. I don't care. I've got a lube down there. It's not because of my man.
It just be like that.
It just bees like that. Okay? But she don't have that problem. She might need to go to the doctor because hers just doesn't ever dry.
I was literally like at one point in this book, when I first read it, I was like, they're having sex again?
I asked you and told you. It's like I'm reading porno.
I told you it was a lot. It's a lot. There are 11 spicy scenes in this. Less than 300 pages, I think.
Uncanny. How...
Now I know there are 4 men there.
I mean, I even put, she must have an extra always wet, never dry vagina. I wrote that.
Can we talk about how Connor is a panty sniffer?
That is so funny.
You text me that and it's just what made me think of it. You're like, oh god, Connor's a panty sniffer. They all steal her panties at some point.
No, Mikey does.
Shane does
oh,
too.
Yeah, that's right.
Liam may be the only one that doesn't.
That we know of. But yeah, so he takes the panties off so he can get inside of her more easily, of course.
In the boutique.
But yes, so he takes them off of her and then he goes and he... That's what I think of when somebody is like, why? What is the appeal? If we have any guys, or girls for that matter, what's the appeal of sniffing panties? I mean, I guess hers, apparently she's got a miracle smell too, because you can smell her from a mile away. Bloodhounds. I feel like she needs to be, like, examined on what exactly her hormonal ranges are to make that happen.
Ha! Ha!
But yeah, I don't understand why guys or girls, for that matter, sniff panties. Because I'm not saying my panties stink, but I don't see the appeal to it.
People and their kinks.
My husband tells me that I need to get a OnlyFans account because I need to start being able to support myself when it comes to my books. And he said that I can, sell feet pics. And I was like, I can sell dirty socks and panties. I'm like, apparently nasty people buy anything. If you're one of those people, I'm sorry, I'm not judging you. I just don't understand you. I mean, I am kind of judging you. But it's because I don't understand you.
I just need to understand. That's it. Like, I don't judge you. I just want to know why.
Yeah. What's the appeal to it?
Yeah.
So they leave the store, and then they go, he's like, I need to get you home and in a bed. So then they go back to the house, and they do it again.
I know. It's like that through the whole book.
Does y'all's pussy not swell?
Yes.
Afterwards? Like, is it not like,
yes. It's like, ha, need a break. Like, I'm hurting.
Like, I don't understand.
It's just, I bet it's because of how wet she is.
Yes, they say that.
She has no problem. It doesn't have issues like ours does, apparently.
I don't get it. I don't get it. How? Like, right afterwards. How? And then they're in the bed and he, like, smacks her ass. I love a good ass smacking. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying a spanking. I don't want to be spanked. But if you want to smack my ass, it's going to make me wet. If you're going to spank me, I'm going to punch you in the face.
Don't degrade Marie. She doesn't like it. Don't call her a slut.
That's why I can't stand Shane. I know some girls like that, and that's fine if you like that. To me, I personally don't like it because I do feel like it is degrading. However, we did read praise, and I did come to terms with people liking that if you're doing it in a respectful manner. However, I don't feel like Shane does it in a respectful manner.
It doesn't bother me in the book. I don't know how I'd feel if it was regarded towards myself.
Oh no, Josh better never fucking call me a slut or a whore or anything like that because I will bite his dick off.
You wouldn't like Orion Ruined because they degrade her like no other. I had a little bit of a problem with it. Like, he called her a slut, a whore, a cum dumpster, a whole nine, and I'm like,
a
little much.
He calls her a cunt and a slut all the time. I don't like that.
It didn't bother me in the book. It didn't bother me.
I didn't like it.
She liked it.
So she ends up sleeping in the bed with him that night.
Yeah.
So Jesse sleeps in the bed with Connor that night, and they're spooning and snuggling, whatever. The next day, Shane calls Connor into the office, and he talks about how, because their rooms are right next to each other.
Yep.
And he talks about how they were fucking all night long. So even after the scene, they did more. My shit would be raw. You'd have to put some Vaseline on that shit or something. I don't know.
Can I get some Tux pads, please? Can I get some
frozen pads? I need frozen pads.
Some lidocaine spray for this. It's like I just had a baby again.
So Shane is going off on Connor about not having any sleep that night because Connor and Jesse were fucking all night long. And then Connor goes, "Did you hear me scream?" And Shane's response was, "I figured you lost your voice."
But fuck, that's funny.
He said no as he frowns and says, I assumed you lost your voice. I was like, oh, that's funny. That's really funny. So, after this, Shane is irritated because Connor and the twins are getting attached.
Yes.
And he can see it. So, Connor is having to interrogate some guys. And Shane takes it upon himself because Jesse wants to be more involved. And he said, "You don't even know what we do here." And she said, "I've got a pretty good guess what you do here." So Shane said, "Okay," and drags her to the basement of their penthouse club
whole 9 yards
thing that they live in. And Connor is in there hacking at some guys. 3 guys. And he's killing them pretty much. He is killing them. And Shane's point was trying to get Jessie to realize that they're killers and she needs to leave. But what Shane doesn't realize is that Jessie has seen worse things than that.
Does it shock her? Yes. It shocks her to see Connor in that way. But Jessie also is like,
that's not who he is. That's what he does, but that's not who he is.
That's not Connor. That's not the Connor I know.
But Mikey says that he may lay down like a pussycat and let you rub his tummy red, but make no mistake, my big brother is a fucking animal. That's why they took him and not one of us.
Whoa.
It got me. It snatched me. When someone really pisses us off, we send Shane in. And when we really want to fuck someone up, we send Connor. That's why they took him and not one of us. Yes. Because Connor is the malicious killer of the group.
I don't think it's in this book. It might be. But later on, Connor tells her, "I go to a dark place where not much can reach me, and I don't want you to see me that way."
When he says something similar to that, because she waits for him afterwards. She's like, "Shane," this is what she's thinking, like, "You're not gonna push me away. Like, I care for him and you're not going to push me away." So she stays in Connor's room waiting for him to come back, and he's drenched in blood. He's like, "What are you doing here?" You know, he's snapping because he's pissed at Shane for showing him like that, and she's not deterred. And she said, you know, after she calms him down, he's like, "You still want to be with me knowing that I do that?" And she said, "Just because you you do bad things doesn't mean you're not a good man. You might be a tiger out there, but you're still my pussycat. And I was like, oh, Jesse, you're so sweet. And he said, a pussycat? And she said, okay, a tiger cub. So I was like, oh. So now she starts her period. She gets really, really heavy, painful periods that remind me of like endometriosis, as bad as she has them. Because they're so severe and they're so heavy and
painful.
Yes, like she is curled in a ball, not wanting to do anything. It's like this for the first
2 days.
Yeah, it'll even out and it'll be fine.
Did you have periods like that?
I did not. I was very blessed.
I have. Pre-baby, I had periods so bad that medicine didn't touch it. I would just curl in a ball. I would take medicine anyway. I mean, anything
to ease
it up. And I'd curl on the ball in the bed with my heating pad wrapped around my stomach. And I'd be miserable. Like, I feel her pain. Before kids, it was really bad. Now,
did you ever get checked for endometriosis?
No, the only way they can check that is through surgery. But I got pregnant so easily. I don't think I have it. I think I just had bad periods.
Well, I know that they say you do have it if you have kids, that usually when you have a kid, it actually heals itself. Like when you have to push vaginally in order for it to.
Maybe that's what happened to me, because I would skip school. I would call out of work sometimes. Like, I would be absolutely miserable.
It sounds like you might, even if it wasn't a severe case, it sounds like you might have had some. But so she has really bad periods, cramps or whatever. And then Connor
makes her that stuff.
That concoction from the old country that smells like
putrid skunk.
Putrid skunk, I think is exactly what she said.
I think that is what she
and it's horrible.
You know, I'd be like, can you like give me some nose?
Well, and then she's like, do you want to lay down with me? He's like, no, you stink.
Fuck no, you smell terrible.
And she gets all sad. She's like, he's like, I'm just kidding. I got 10 minutes. I'll cuddle with you. And I was like, what's so sweet? But then what got me was this was the first time that you saw Shane be considerate and sweet. Yes. Because he walks in the next day. Or no, she goes out there looking for
Connor. And he's asleep.
And he makes it for her and brings it in there to her. And she's like, thinking in her head, please don't lay down with me. Please don't sit in here with me. And he doesn't. He just turns the TV on for her. And he's like, who do you think taught Connor?
That was so sweet. It's like, the first glimpse you see of Shane softening.
The very first time. I was like, okay, maybe there's some saving him.
Oh, there is.
You have got the hots for Shane.
I do. Okay.
He gets the call because he went down to LA to talk to Jackson Alejandro about her to find out information about her. It took Jax, because Jax is their hacker. He is like the best hacker. Okay. So it took Jax 4 weeks. 4 weeks to figure out who she was. That is how good she is
at covering her tracks.
He tells Shane and he calls her in the office.
What did you think was going to happen? Like, I thought that something bad was going to happen out of that.
I didn't think anything bad was going to happen, only because she didn't do anything. She
lied.
Well, she lied, yes. And he's got
He's got a thing with lying. Don't lie.
Like a severe thing with lying. Even white lies. Like just a little bitty white lie. He's like, Jessica. And she's like, maybe he just guessed that.
Jesse is so
Jesse
close.
Could be short for Jessica. Maybe he just guessed it. And then he said her last name.
Romanov.
Like, seriously, come on, guys. Y'all know the story about the Romanov family, Russia.
I honestly don't.
Anastasia.
I have not watched that.
Okay. Anyways, they're like a big historical Russian family that got massacred.
No, I'm not good with history.
Okay.
Garrett literally said the other day, he's talking about like a speakeasy. Like there's going to be a speakeasy in the...
Really?
In the pizza place.
Is that what that close? I saw somebody.
Yeah. He's like, there's going to be a password to the speakeasy. I'm like, what the fuck is a speakeasy? He's like, you really didn't listen in American history, did you? Like, you literally just cheated off of me. And I was like, yeah.
Anastasia Romanov. The whole family, it was so horrible. They were murdered. The wife was raped, beaten, and then they were all shot in the head, massacred style, and then they were just thrown in a mass grave and left for a sign of disrespect and all that stuff. but they couldn't find Anastasia's body. So there's like a conspiracy that she got away, and that's where the whole movie comes from with the Anastasia.
So this
blah, blah.
is like loosely based off of that. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm guessing from.
See, I'm not a history buff. I would have never caught that.
But anyways, he was talking about her. Shane, they're in the office. He says Romanoff, and she's like, "Oh shit, how did you find out?" He said something about Jackson. He said, "Oh, by the way, he wanted me to tell you that he was impressed," and she couldn't help but kind of puff up her chest because of how good Jax is and the fact that it took him 4 weeks. But then she's like, "Obviously, I wasn't good enough because he was able to figure it out." And then he said, "Maybe I should just screw her to get her out of his system." Seriously, how many times have we heard that?
And it does.
Insert eye roll.
I feel like after he finds out the full truth of her, like, the wolf takes her, slaughters her family in front of her, keeps her captive for how many years? 2, 3 years?
Just under 2 years.
And rapes her.
And his response is, well, how did you escape? If it was so bad there, if he controlled you like that, then how did you escape? You're telling me that you were there for 2 years and there's nothing that happened? You're not working for them? And I love her response because she said she was permitted outside in the gardens for 1 hour every night, like a real prison. And then she was only allowed plastic utensils. She wasn't allowed to have any kind of sharp anything. She was permitted wooden hairbrush. And she said, "Do you know how long it takes to make a wooden stake to a perfect point using a smooth rock?" And he said, "How long?" 11 days. And 11 days. She was playing the role with the wolf as far as being intimate, I guess, with him.
Well, he started out raping her. And then she realized that she needed to pretend to start liking it, so he thinks she was more comfortable with him and give her more leeway. And this
Stockholm syndrome.
Yes. She doesn't actually have Stockholm syndrome, but
when she said that, we were talking about this. I don't like rape in the book, and I'm glad you don't go into details. I'm sure it probably will in the other books. I'm not.
No,
okay. So, anyways, I couldn't imagine that, nor would I want to imagine that. But the fact that she was there for almost 2 years and she never gave up. But then you leave there and you allow yourself to be intimate with not 1, but 3, because she's only intimate with 3 of them right now. But she allows herself to get intimate with 3 guys.
She was also forced to have sex with Nikolai. But think about it. She was captured when she was 16.
16.
She's never probably been with anybody that she's comfortable with or that she liked.
Well, she states that in there. Like, so she didn't think that she would ever be comfortable with 2 guys, let alone 3, let alone 4.
Now she's in a place where she feels comfortable. She feels she's at home. She feels love for the, like, real love. I see it. Like, I see it for her.
Do you think that possibly at the beginning that she may have been doing the same thing she did with the wolf, with Nikolai? Subconsciously?
Oh.
As far as, like, allowing... No. I'm saying with them, like, as far as allowing, like, okay, if I have to have sex with them, I will.
You're talking about with the brothers.
With the brothers.
No.
I feel like she was fully prepared to do that.
I feel like she may have been prepared when she was in this life or death situation. She was prepared.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
but
when she
got into their home and she started to bond with them, no.
I don't think that, but I'm saying before the bonding and the actual you realizing that they were good guys.
Yeah.
I felt like she was fully prepared to do exactly what she did with the wolf.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah. You're right. I think you're right.
And then when she started becoming actual intimate with them, with the feelings and everything. You know what? Maybe that's why she's like a freaking water hose down there.
Yeah.
Because she's never had feelings before. Like,
yeah.
And then
he says, "Are you sharpening any wooden stakes in that bedroom of yours?" And she's like, "I wouldn't need to. You have a perfectly suitable set of titanium knives in the kitchen."
But this to me, when Shane was like, "I'm sorry about your family hacker," I was like, I'm really glad that he could show some empathy towards her. Because if he would have been an asshole.
Well, let me tell you,
there was going to be no saving
Shane's going to show some empathy because later on you find out the shit that happens in his family and why he raised his brothers.
Yeah. In the second book, you're getting that.
Yeah, you're getting some glimpses of that.
And I think he is slowly, his facade towards her is slowly slipping because he wants her. Like, he wants her. And he's like, but she's with my other 3 fucking brothers. So
Shane doesn't share. Shane does not like to share. Mikey and Liam are like, we've shared everything since birth. Like, we're cool with it. He's like, but Connor and Shane, they've never shared before anything, let alone a woman.
They have that conversation, which is later on, I think, because I do have it highlighted. But Shane's control is slowly slipping. This pint-sized vixen is in the house now, and it's slowly slipping, and it doesn't help the fact that she a lot of times is walking around in Connor or one of the twins' oversized t-shirts, usually Connor's, and panties, and that's it. So she has to tell the guys. She's telling the boys, because Shane's like, if you're going to stay here, you have to tell my brothers who you really are and let them decide. And he's like, see if they'll let you stay. You can be an ass, but really, she's already got them wrapped around her finger. So she walks into the gym and all 3 of them are working out. And she's like, men aren't supposed to smell good when they're this sweaty. Apparently, y'all's juices are something of another level because cooter juice smells good. Body odor juices smell good. Like, I don't get it. Perspiration juices, there you go, smell good. I don't know, whatever. So she goes into the gym a little distracted at first, but then she eventually tells them who she is. And they're all okay with it. Liam gives her a hug. Mikey gives her a hug. They accept it. Connor gives her a kiss on the head because Connor's, the Russian kidnapped him. Mm-hmm. But, Connor gives her a kiss and says, I fucking hate the Russian present company excluded. And then he walks away. And so Mikey and Liam's like 90 questioning her until Shane's like, enough. And she goes to see Connor. I thought this was really sweet because she is worried that Connor and her connection is going to slip because of the fact that she's Russian. And Connor told her the same thing. I fucking hate the Russians, present company excluded. And he kind of tells her a little bit at that time what happened. And she said something about leaving or being taken or something. And he said, I will always come looking for you, Angel, and I would burn the whole world down to find you.
She says, at least you knew your brothers were going to come looking for you, and you had that comfort. That's something I never had.
And I'm sorry.
Sorry you never had that. Just know that I'll burn the whole fucking world down looking for you.
Foreshadowing, because at this moment, I was like, something's going to happen to her. Something's going to happen to her. Spoiler, something does happen to her. They go to a club to get some information. A guy walks in on her and calls her Natalia. And she doesn't know who Natalia is, but it's very confusing. And he has a file on her family.
Yeah, I was going to say, after she saw the file on her family, which we don't know for sure if it's the file on her family, but it says Alexei and Natalia Romanov. And the guy walks in and he recognizes her and he's like, Natalia.
I found you.
She's like, what the fuck? And Liam comes in and stabs him in the neck.
I think Natalia is her mother. And I think she looks like her mother. No, I really think that. But, we'll see. Shane's mad because it was supposed to be in and out, clean. Nobody was supposed to know. And, of course, they stabbed the guy. Then they had to fight their way out, shooting, killing all these Russians. So now there's going to be issues. Shane's mad. He's going off on Liam. She doesn't want Liam to be punished because Liam was supposed to protect her. It's not its all. Shane's like, everyone can leave but you. Talking to Jesse. So now they're in the office together. And she's fiery, little redhead. And he's an asshole. And he says, why are you wearing my shirt? Because Connor gave her a shirt after we got back. So she was wearing Shane's shirt that she thought was Connor's. Shane told her, give me my shirt back. So
she does.
She's like, fine, you want your fucking shirt? Here. So she's naked with panties on. And he said, I want those panties too. They're mine. I bought them. So she's like, okay. Takes them off and hands them to her. And then she's like, now what?
And he sniffs up.
And then he's like, I wonder if the little hacker tastes as good as she smells. But okay. And Jessie is just so cocky. I love it. She just is freaking so hilarious.
I wonder, Shane, do you taste as good as you smell? Ballsy.
Right?
She got a balls.
I don't know what it is about sucking some pecker, but gosh, I love sucking some pecker. It makes me ready to go. It's freaking wet down there. I love sucking pecker. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I want to get you off, too. But if I get you off, you better be ready to go, too. Because my shit's going to be throbbing ready, too. So do you like sucking pecker? Does it make you wet?
No.
What? You're not doing it right. She ain't doing it right, ladies. Agree? I'm gonna say yeah because I don't know. Agree.
Some people just don't like to do that. I mean, it's not that I don't like it. I think I just have confidence.
Like you're not good enough?
Yeah.
Okay, well then your man has to give you direction. I know
he won't.
I was gonna say, I know that he's very like
and he
timid.
wants to stare at me and I'm like, look away. Like, fuck, you're making me even more timid. Like, don't fucking look at me.
That's what turns him on.
It doesn't turn me on.
Well, you're not doing it to turn, I mean, you are, but like.
I know, but it makes me like want to stop in my tracks.
Like watching.
I get it.
It's just like, my man's got a thing when he's inside me, he likes to watch us. Like, he likes to watch it, which I like watching it too, but I mean, like.
That's okay.
That's the same thing. Like, maybe you just need to do it some more to build that confidence up.
If I could get some moans or some, oh, that feels good, or oh, don't stop, maybe.
Well, tell him, be like, look, I want to start sucking your dick, but you need to give me direction. And see what happens. Shane finally has her, and he's did her in the office, and then he's taken her to the bedroom, and they've done like 15 more times after that. Fast forward to the next day, and she's like, gonna get up.
One night.
She's gonna get up, and he's like, no, you're not going anywhere. She said, what happened to one night? And he said, it's still in the 24 hours or something like that. Shane, and he's like, you've had her for the last 4 fucking weeks. It's still my turn.
You skipped over one of my favorite parts where they leave the office. He's fully clothed in his suit. He's toting her through the living room to his room, and they're all like, fuck you! I'm like...
And then I also skipped over the fact of Shane apparently is very good with some orifices. And he makes her squirt. Not once, but twice. And she's never done that before. And the first time, he's like, did you just... And she's like, yes, no.
She's so embarrassed. He's like, that's so hot.
Yeah. And he's like, has any of my brothers made you? She's like, no one's made me ever do that before. Question. Have you?
Yeah.
I have too. I have to, and I
will not
so embarrassed.
I was too. I thought I will not tell you what I was doing or why it happened, but I will tell you I have.
What you were doing?
Well, what we were doing.
Okay.
Sorry. Not me. We.
Josh is going down on me.
For real?
He's good. He's gotten so good.
In his mouth?
I think he's like, he was wearing his glasses. What kind of squirt do you mean? You know, like it was in my legs for 5.
I'll tell you this much. It was from behind. And it was on the floor.
It's not as bad as mine.
No, that was crazy.
Man, he was hitting them spots, my legs were going, and he was getting it in. Holy shit. But it was really embarrassing. So, they're in the car. Shane, Connor, and Liam. And Connor's like, so, you and Jesse, huh? And he's like,
what about it?
Yeah. He's like, is that okay with you? And Shane's like, surprising.
Connor's like, surprisingly, yeah. Surprisingly, yeah, I'm good with it.
And then Liam's in the backseat. Hey, nobody asked us if we were okay with it. We had her first.
Yeah, they're like, you've always shared.
He said, let's not forget, we liked her first. No one asked if we're okay with this arrangement. And then Shane's like, are you okay with it? He said, of course, it's just nice to be asked. That's all. They go to a fight, and everyone fights the guys, killing them because they're all trying to do hand-to-hand. Liam is on with one guy that's like the Hulk. And there's supposed to be 3 guys to each of them. Well, Liam only does 1. He ends up killing the guy, but it like takes... All the other guys are dead before Liam is actually done. And Liam's like really upset about this. This is the time where Shane tells him, I'm proud of you.
Side note, Liam is the biggest and strongest out of all of them.
Yes. And that's what Shane says. I left that massive one to you. He would have made my face into putty. And he's like, Connor might have taken him, but we left him for you because we knew you could get the job done. He's like, I know I don't say it enough, but I am proud of you.
And you're my favorite, don't tell the others.
Yeah, and you're my favorite, don't tell the others. Because Shane is more like a father to them than a brother. And so they look up to him, they respect him and all that. Or he said, Jesse's going to be all over you when we get there taking care of you. So I wouldn't mind a little Jesse TLC. The family lawyer comes sometime later.
Her name is Erin.
Yes. Who happens to be
a cunt. And that is all.
And Shane's ex.
Yeah.
Fiance.
Fiance.
I immediately hate her.
Same.
Immediately hate her. She's a stuck-up Irish bitch. And I don't like her even more because she's Irish, so she has that sexy accent too. Motherfucker. And she has a issue with Jessie, of course, because Jessie is there and she's like, maybe you could do me a favor and take Connor off of mine and Shane's hand. He said Shane will never put you before his brothers. He will never, ever make you a priority. Yeah. He will never leave them to fend for themselves. And then Jesse says, maybe I don't want him to.
But what this bitch don't know is that they all are with Jesse. Not just Connor, not just Shane, because Aaron thinks that Jesse and Shane have a little something, which they do, but it's not just.
Right. But then as soon as she leaves, Shane calls her into the office and he fucks her.
She thinks that he's thinking of Aaron.
And I would have felt the same way.
I get where she was coming from.
You're fucking me while thinking of her, and she's like, if it didn't feel so good, I wouldn't like this. But
she thinks this because as soon as she walks in the office, he's already hard.
Yes.
And it's because, you find out later, it's because that she was sitting on the desk, and all he could think about was him having Jesse on the desk and fucking her.
Because he tells her all the time, all I want from you is sex, all I want from you is sex, all I want from you is sex. And so she's snippy, like not really snippy, but she's avoiding him. And it's bothering Shane. More than it should for just someone who wants sex. Mm-hmm. But it's bothering him. He's like, why are you ignoring me? And she's like, I get that's all you want from me. But to sit there, she's like, I'm not a substitute for her. He said, what are you talking about? And that's when he's talking about the panties and all that stuff.
I can't stand that fucking bitch.
Same.
And they're in the office and he calls Connor in.
You must be the reason for Shane's foul mood. Because ever since he's been fucking you, he's been in a good mood. So now that he's not, it must be you is the reason why. She's avoiding him. And he can't take it anymore. He asks her, why are you avoiding me? And she pretty much said, I don't appreciate being fucked while you're got a hard on for someone else.
I mean, I can't blame her.
And he's like, just this once, I'll indulge you. And it's because she sat on my desk and crossed her legs to show me a view of her panties. And all I could think about was your pink, soaked, cream-filled ones from the other day. That's what made me hard. And she's like, oh, okay, let's fuck again. Because that's what she does.
That's what they all do.
All the fucking time.
All the time. I never.
I will say, though, I feel like Liam and Mikey had their one time in the book.
It's Shane and Connor focused right now.
I felt like Liam and Mikey was just kind of in the back. They mentioned, well, she was with Mikey and Liam.
I asked Garrett, I was like, would you share me with your brothers? And he was like, fuck no. Well, I just asked, like, would you be comfortable enough with your brothers to do that? He's like, fuck no, that's weird. And I'm like, okay. I mean, in the book, it's hot. It's hot.
But your next question would have been, could you have a threesome with another guy?
Yeah, that was the next question.
And he said,
no.
Did you ask him how he feel about his penis rubbing up against another guy's penis?
Yeah, he was like, no. Even, like, just a threesome with another guy. Not even talking, like, DVP. I was like, so your idea of a threesome is 2 girls. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm not down with that. Like, I'm just not down with that.
I will cut a bitch. I am so territorial. That's mine. Don't even look in his direction. I will cut you.
I'm different, I guess, because I don't care.
No, that's mine. I worked 8 years for that motherfucker. It's mine.
The way I see it is like, I know he's not going to leave me for someone else.
Well, I don't have that feeling. I feel like there's...
Whatever.
I'm just saying, I don't have that feeling. I probably should.
I guess that's why we have different opinions on it.
Maybe.
Because, like, I know that mug's not going anywhere.
Garrett's a different breed of man, though.
Touche.
So, we're getting way off the subject here.
Anyways.
They're fine now. And so you can see bits of him being more invested emotionally with her.
He wants his Jessie time.
He's made comments about her being with his brothers and him making the comments, you're always so soaking wet. Exactly.
So many comments about her just being...
Repeatedly. All
it's
of them.
Unnatural.
Yeah. All of them.
No, I've never had the attention of 4 hot men at one time.
Yeah, that would be yeah.
That could be the game changer here.
Yeah. I think that would be so hot but I am so self-conscious about my body.
Same.
The fact that she's laid like a slab of meat.
And they're just like eyeballs on her.
Worshipping her, and that just, yeah.
Worship me, please.
Yeah, but it's just like...
At the same time, it's like...
Because she has made comments about Aaron. You know, comparing herself with Aaron and her.
She does. She's very self-conscious when it comes to her and Aaron. She's like, Aaron is this fucking goddess, and I'm this...
Perfect in every way. Yeah,
I'm this 5'4", thick, curvy girl. And like, to me, like, that's more attractive than this...
She's got killer toned legs. She's got a big ass.
Obviously, she works out because she talks about being in the gym.
Yeah, she's got a fit stomach, and she's got big tits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she is Jessica Rabbit.
Ooh, nailed it.
Thank you.
Damn.
That just came to me, too.
I always thought Jessica Rabbit was hot, too.
She made you feel ways. One scene, she's in Shane's office, and he's going to town on her, and Connor walks in and just casually talking to him.
I love that scene.
And she's just like, are we going
to have casual conversation right now while you're, like, balls deep in me? Like,
yeah, and he's like, if this is going to work, you're going to have to get used to being fucked in front of all of us. Eventually, if you're lucky, maybe you'll have all four of us at one time. Shane indulges her, you know, about the whole Aaron thing. And he says, after Connor's like, Aaron wants to talk to you. And she tenses. And he's like, I told you she means nothing. And he said, well, if you don't trust me, you can come with me, or something along those lines. You're coming with me to see Aaron. So they get to Aaron's office. And he's trying to figure out about the whole Natalia thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's asking Aaron because Aaron used to do business with the Russians.
She used to do business with the Bravo.
Yes. Now, he said, I know you used to do business. Do you have any contact? And she said, now you know, I stopped talking to them upon your insistence. Okay. She said, are you sure you want to talk about this in front of her? And he said, she's talking about Jessie. She hates the Russians as much as we do. You hate them so bad, but yet you worked for them?
You're about Aaron?
Aaron supposedly hates the Russian. If you supposedly hate these people, why did you ever do business with them? Because it's bullshit. She did business with them before they got together. Why did she all of a sudden hate them after she got with him?
For Shane.
But she didn't hate him, is my point.
No, she didn't.
Exactly. But
she made it like Shane thinks that she did.
Yes, that's my point. Okay, I call bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
I call bullshit that she ever hated it.
I call bullshit that she ever cut contact.
Same. Because later on, when she calls and he's like, do you have any updates? And she said no, and he's like, she's lying. And I'm like, oh, something's fishy.
Foreshadowing.
Aaron's supposed to be looking up, trying to find out some Russian contacts so she can look into the Romanovs for Jessie. Jessie still isn't comfortable because she's absolutely perfect. And she says, like, countless times, she's perfect for you.
Yeah, he points that out. You keep saying she's perfect.
But if she was, I'd be with her.
Yeah.
But all I keep thinking about is you and your sweet cum. But he takes her into Aaron's bathroom ensuite in her office and fucks her. And I love it.
Same.
I love it.
So she finds out or whatever, and she's like, I had to have it professionally cleaned.
Oh, she heard him. Because he's like, you know that you want her to hear it.
Yeah.
They come back. Shane's like, we should do something. Take her out and get her out of the apartment. So they go to the club.
She's been wanting to go to the club.
But he's like, remember who this belongs to. If anybody even gets a glimpse of these panties, because she dresses in a mini dress, those girls in the club come up to them right in front of her.
Just drooling.
Yeah, like, don't care that she's sitting there, and she's not the jealous type, but she's had enough. And she's like, I think I've got them handled, girls. I love that she publicly took claim to all four of them.
Mm-hmm.
All four of them.
Like, yep, they all mine. No, you don't need to know the details.
My shit never gets dry. It's always throbbing. It's got a vice grip, like. I've got a miracle coochie that's always tight.
Enjoy it before you have kids. Did you ever push a kid out?
Nope. My
lucky bitch.
I wanted to, but I didn't. I wasn't blessed enough to be able to do that. Anywho.
I wasn't blessed enough to keep my tight parent.
Just do some Kegels. Look at them balls. Shove them up in there. I want to get Kegel balls.
You said that like on every podcast.
hey, if anybody really likes our podcast and they want to buy me something, y'all can buy me some Kegel balls.
That's not fucking weird.
And I'll let you know how it works.
Here, bitch, have these.
Just for your cooter. Here's a gift from me to you. I asked Josh when I do my Kegels, I'm like, can you feel the difference?
I'm sure.
And I'm like, maybe that's why he thinks I get off.
Oh, it is. Because that's what happens.
Yeah.
Stop doing it.
I need to. And be like, loosey-goosey. They get back from the club, and Shane is pouting like a child.
Because he wanted her.
He wanted to spank her.
And Connor's claiming her.
Yes, it's Connor's night, and Connor, being this sweet...
He's such a sweet man.
I mean, just being amazing, says, go to him. And she's like, no, I'm spending the night with you. And he's like, I can't give you what you want from me. And she's like, yes, you can. You always can. And he's like, no, you need pain.
Connor can always read her.
And she asked him, how do you know? And he said, because we're the same. He's like, I don't want to be that for you. He's like, maybe one day, but right now I don't want to be that for
because
you.
Jesse's pain threshold is like up there. And Connor's like, I have to go. Like, if I was going to hurt you like that, like, I have to go into that dark place. And I don't know that I'd be able to come out. And she's like, I know you can. And he's like, no.
He was like, you need to take the edge off and I can't give it to you. How? Why? The pain. I don't get the punishment for people to be punished for the physical pain.
I'm not like you don't understand impact play.
Yes.
Some people just like pain.
I don't understand it. Is it just something that somebody likes, or is it a history? Is there a history that causes you to like the pain? Obviously, she's had trauma.
I was going to say, for
and
her,
all the books I've read in the past, the ones that like always
trauma.
have something to do with a trauma. So I'm just generally asking, for those of you who like impact play, not to get personal, I'm not asking what it was, but is it trauma related, or is it just your body likes pain and pleasure together? It's just a question. Because she wants that punishment, that hard punishment, and she goes to Shane afterwards and fibs and says that she thinks a bouncer saw it, and he's like, if you're lying to me,
he's going to be dead.
She's like, no, I could be wrong. And this is that little white lie. He like snaps.
I felt like it came off more like a joke, and he's like, you're lying to me. Why would you lie to me again? Wow.
Yeah, I think it was too extra. As mad as he got, he's like, really pissed, like for real pissed. He's just too sensitive with the whole lying thing, and I'm sure that has to do with history. It doesn't make a damn bit of sense because he takes it to the fucking extreme. He takes that belt and he is whooping her ass, like whooping it, and then like,
sends her to bed.
Well, he said, have you had enough? She says, I barely felt it. He said, well, you must not be lying because you just promised you wouldn't lie again. And she's like, tears, like I'm not crying from the pain, she says. I'm like, bitch, yes you are. Yes you are. You can't sit down or touch your ass. You're crying from the pain.
Jessie, I don't think she even knows her limit. Like, I think she just will take what you give her.
Well, he gives it hard, and then afterwards he's like, go to your room.
That's what pissed her off.
Yeah.
Not the spanking.
No.
Not him being mad. Him just sending her to her room.
And then his ass is going to sit there and tell her, what do you think a punishment is?
He offers her the car, the identity, and the money. After the spanking, he tests her to send her away because he thinks that they're all getting too close and too invested. And of course, she turns him down.
$500,000, new identity, social security number, passport, birth certificate, and a car.
All the things.
Just to walk away because she won't let him in. She said, fuck you. Pretty much. That personally would have been really hard for me to turn down. I mean, I love that she loves them and she turned it down. If she didn't have those feelings, she wouldn't have though.
Yeah.
Because she had already told Connor she loved him.
Like, imagining the situation she was in, knowing that you love them, him telling you to go. Can you imagine the gutted feeling you'd have? Just thinking about taking it and leaving. The gutted feeling you'd have.
Yeah. I mean, Connor and her are saying that they love each other. And then she was having feelings for Shane. And then Shane's like, take this and go. Don't say goodbye, whatever. She says, love does not make you weak, you jackass. Don't you see that's the most powerful force in the world? And she is nailed it. Because she's got all 4 of them pretty much because of love.
Then she goes to Connor, and he's sleeping. She wakes him up. And she's like upset. He's like, what did Shane do?
It's always Shane.
Because he already knew, so she tells him. He's like, yeah, he's testing you. I've been waiting on it. We've all been tested.
When she tells him, he's like, I didn't think he'd go that far.
Yeah, he took it a little further than I thought he would, but wow, I've been waiting on this. I've been like, I no fucking warning. Yeah.
Whiplash. And of course now she and Connor are fixing to fuck. And
again.
Yeah, again. Because this girl knows no limit. But he tells her, because he's fingering her, he always goes to fingering her first. I think all of them do. It's like finger, eating, dick. It's like a finger looking good. You know what I mean? So she's like all into it. He goes, I know my girl likes a good finger fucking
He
first.
knows what she likes.
I'm like, do you like finger or dick?
I like to start out with fingers. Like a little good foreplay first.
If you have time. It just depends on time, I guess. But I'm good if you don't want to do all that. Unless you're going down, then I need you to like pound that shit.
Same. I need both.
Josh gets rough down there, and I don't like it when he gets rough. Sometimes it's, I don't know, I feel like he's punching me, and I don't like it. I like it. No, it's just fingers. 2, sometimes 3. He's got those big old sausage fingers. He knows what he's doing because I squirted on his face. So.
That's so fucking funny. We don't care that I just told the whole world that I sprayed on your face.
Well, I mean, he's patting himself on his back. Yeah, I did that. I think I like the dick. I mean, I don't mind the fingers every once in a while if you're going down, but
you can't just leave me with the finger. Like we gotta move on.
You would have to be really, 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 really skilled.
Oh yeah.
To just finger me and me get off. But they can, because apparently they're skilled, or the girl just has like a quick cum release. At this point, I feel like, and she's just undone. Oh my gosh, Connor, your breath is just amazing. The girl gets off at everything. So
you could just fuck her.
Yeah, Connor for sure. I think at one point they do that, or she does do that with one of them, and she's like, I just can't take it anymore. It's wiggling. I do like that after her love making with Connor, because that's what they're doing now. They're love making. So after the love making with Connor, she the next day goes to Shane. I was like, if you think you're going to continue to pass me around with your brothers and make me feel like a whore, you've got another problem because you're not touching me anymore.
Oh, yes. I liked that.
And he is like, he's like, oh shit. How do I fix it?
Take it back.
And that's when he takes her to the car the second time.
Yes.
And she's like, where are you taking me? You know they'll find me if you drop me off.
This scene holds a special place in my heart. Like, this is him, like, giving himself to her.
Yes. Because that's his piece. So he takes her to the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's not far, but it's not close either to them. It's
outside of the city.
In the woods.
Property that he owns, and it's a beautiful view of this
black water.
Gorgeous lake and the moon.
And he's like, it's yours. And she's like, that's a really sweet sentiment, but you can't give me the moon and this water.
And he's like, but I can because I own it.
I own it.
I've always wanted to build a cabin out here.
I would love to be here with you and your brothers. And he's like, you would?
Foreshadowing.
He's like, don't worry about privacy because it's my land. I own it. Well, you do now, pretty much. But I thought that was really sweet that he did that. He's like, please tell me that I can touch you again. Please tell me that I've made up and I can touch you again. And she's like, I don't know. The way you've talked to me, the way you've made me feel, I don't know. And she's like, you have to give me something. And he goes, I broke the engagement off. He never told anybody why him and Aaron's engagement broke off.
Did it shock you for the reason why?
It did. Like, she's conniving, and after they said it, I was like, I could so see that bitch doing that. But I wasn't expecting it to be the reason. She stopped taking her birth control, trying to get pregnant by him, didn't tell him, and he made it very adamant that he does not, nor will he ever, want kids because he does not want to carry on his bastard father's name. So he was very clear on that. She, Aaron, supposedly was also in agreement to this, and she stopped taking her birth control and has a pregnancy scare. And then that's when he finds out that she had already stopped and all that stuff. Because she thought that he would change his mind. Or that he would change his mind later. And he's like, no.
So he gives her this little tidbit that he's never given anybody else.
Real quick, to the whole Aaron thing, because he said he never gave her any reason he would change his mind. But another issue that she had was because of the brothers. She blamed his brothers.
Yeah, she blamed his brothers. All the responsibility he held with them for him not wanting kids. He did say that it tied him down.
He said, I already feel like I raised 3 kids. I don't want to raise anymore. Yeah. He's like, and I wouldn't change doing that for my brothers. Yeah, I love my brothers. He would choose his brothers over the possibility of falling in love with someone again. Because she was like, so you choose their happiness. And he's like, no, I choose my brothers over even the idea
of happiness.
Yeah.
But with Jesse, he doesn't have to choose that because she chooses them all. And then they have sex up against a tree.
Yeah.
It's so hot.
Yeah. Because there's nothing more that he loves in the world than burying his cock in her hot cunt. Because she's soaking wet and ready for his cock every fucking time.
All the time. What's new?
With any of them.
So after he takes her and screws her up against the tree, when they get back, Connor comes in his office and he tells him, like, hey, that guy from the bar that we stabbed in the throat didn't die. He was alive in the hospital. Like, it's good news and bad news.
That's the second dude that's been stabbed in the throat and didn't die.
I thought that was weird, too. I'm like, y'all are aiming the wrong way.
How do you miss the main artery? Here.
So he's alive in the hospital and somebody goes and talks to him. He tells him, I can't remember what he tells him. Something about Natalia, a.k.a. Veronica, which they're assuming it's Veronica.
Because he's like, well, could that be her mom and she just changed her name? Yeah. Because they've got paperwork of a name change.
Connor's like, do we tell her? Do we not? So they're like, let's not stress her out anymore until we know more.
Yeah.
And so they don't tell her.
When I was reading that, I was like, it's her mom. Something that's to do with her mom.
I knew it had to do with her mom when the guy walked in and recognized her.
Yeah, same. I was like...
because Shane's like, do you look like your mom? And she's like, yeah, almost like spitting image. So immediately I was like, this has to do with her mom.
Take 2 Jessica rabbits.
So that was...
And they died such a brutal death.
Oh my God, yes.
Her mom was raped in front of them before they slit her throat. They killed the twins, and then the dad was last. Because they told the dad, I'm going to take your daughter.
The trauma she suffered, and every time she hears the wolf's name, or she has a nightmare
out in the sleep.
The Volk. He's like, what is Volk?
He was pissed too.
And she's like, it's wolf in Russian, because they're sleeping in the same bed, and she's having a nightmare, apparently.
Yeah, he's like, I've never done that. I haven't done that in so long.
I don't even remember dreaming about it. And she's like, I don't know why I did that. And she's like, but it means the wolf in Russian.
However, the next day or whenever, it's the best scene.
It's the dinner, and then it's the dinner.
It's the dessert.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's the dessert. They serve her on the dinner table. They're making her Orion. There's more DNA of Ryan in her than there is Romanov.
Connor says in the second. So they're at the dinner table and they're talking and they're discussing her being there and becoming part of the family. And she is just like ecstatic, like happy, and just has all these feelings.
They're like, Jesse, do you have any rules? Yeah, Mikey has to stop stealing my underwear and putting them in his bedside
And he was so
drawer.
upset about it. He's like, what? Why? It's not her.
She's like, I don't have any underwear.
I thought that was, yeah, I like that.
So funny.
Poor Mikey. It's like Mikey's the only one that got outed for any of it. Just Mikey. And they're like, okay, well, we have some demands before we make you a Ryan. And he goes, it's your responsibility to ensure that all of our needs are taken care of. This is not an open relationship. And I won't have anyone feeling like they have to search elsewhere. And then he goes on to say, that's not safe for them. It's not safe for her to go other places. It's all, they're in a relationship.
Why would you need to?
As willing as she is.
Just saying.
And she's very quick. I'm sorry, but
she's like, 100%.
Okay, yeah. When you get off, it's just like a guy. Like, there has to be some downtime. At least for my husband, sorry. Love you, Josh. But there's a downtime. Like, he can't just go right back to it. And if he does, then that second one's going to take a while. or it's going to take a little bit. It's not going to be like that first one. And it's the same way with a girl. Like, if you get me off, it's going to take a minute for that next one to come.
No, I'm like, stop touching me for a minute.
Or, yeah.
Get back.
Sensitive.
Stop touching it. You leave that thing alone. Get that thing away from me right now.
Look, we're that kind of friends. But ours are, clits are different, okay? Everybody's clit's different. I haven't seen hers. But we got to talk about this. And there are some clits that hang out. Some that are, like, kind of dangly. And some that are inside, like a little turtle or whatever. Mine is one that you have to work for, okay? You gotta push that shit back and get to it, okay? So mine takes some more work to get to.
I feel like this is TMI.
But when you get done or whatever, you're swollen. That stuff's swollen too. Like the whole thing down the side. Stop it. It's just like the head after Josh gets off, like after giving a blowjob or whatever. His head is sensitive.
Garrett's is the same idea.
It's like, oh.
That's funny.
Yeah. Like,
I can't keep going right now.
Sometimes. She does not have that. Jessie has no problem.
She just wants to keep going.
I feel like, honestly, all four of them should sit on a couch and just bling, 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 bling. I mean, she's little enough that they can
just toss her around.
Yeah. Dung, da, dung, da, dung, da, dung, da, dung, da, dung.
Instead of past the hot potato, it's
does that happen in any of them?
Hot Jessie.
Past the Jessie. And then they said 2 nights a week because the twins like to share you anyways. And that leaves her 1 night for herself.
If she wants it.
If she wants it for, recovery.
Because, 1 day's enough. But they're really weeping when she's on her period.
They don't care. Connor even said that. He don't care.
I know. Okay.
Oh, as long as they don't go down. There's people who like to eat out in the period.
That's too far. That's too much.
It's a thing.
No.
It's a thing.
With vampires, I hope.
With real people. They like it.
Oh, please stop. I'm literally, my stomach turned. That's too much.
When I found out about it, I thought they were joking.
I hope you're joking.
I'm not joking.
If you like that, I'm sorry, but I can't. I don't even want to understand.
Oh, and then he says, I know you enjoy being with the twins together. I assume that goes for any of us if you're willing to share and you're feeling up for it.
Oh, I like it when they share.
He says, which I like this. We're not going to hide from anybody. If I want to hold your hand, I want to hold your hand.
Yes.
And then Connor's like, if I want to smack your ass, I want to smack your ass. And they're all going around the table. And she's like, I've never given a shit what anybody says. I wouldn't hide it either. Why are you going to hide it?
PDA me right now, all 4 of you.
Right? Stake my claim. Oh. So at the end of their discussion, Shane has already started messing with her. Right after the, I don't want to hide, all that stuff. So he sticks his fingers up in there and playing with her or whatever. And the guys have caught on to it because they can see it. And they're like, oh, Shane, are you getting our girl ready for us or something like that? And he pulls it out to show his glistening fingers and then licks them all. Which is fine. He's licking his own fingers. That's better. But y'all know how I feel about finger licking.
That's hot.
It's not.
It's hot.
I'm better with him licking his own fingers. If he would have stuck those in her mouth or any of the other guys' mouths.
Ooh, no. You went too far. You crossed the line. You did too much.
I'm fine with him licking his own fingers. It's fine. It's still kind of gross, but I don't know. And then he's like, we need to make a blood oath. And then she says, how about a cum oath? And yes. Shane's like, are you sure you can handle all 4 of us?
Oh, yeah.
Do you see how many scenes we've been discussing when it's just this?
So much.
So if you and your man or significant other need some role play options or, just something to get the mood started, I highly suggest reading together.
When I read this book, I was always ready. All 5 books. I was always ready. What is your favorite scene? Before we get into this one. If it's this one, let's talk about it. The cum oath scene is my favorite.
It's between 2.
Okay.
It is between the very first scene with the twins, because I love the fact that she gets caught and all of them are watching her.
Yeah.
And then the very last scene.
Okay, yeah, I'm right there with you. But the last scene is my favorite.
I feel like it could have been more.
It's more later. She had to save that shit for the later books. It had to get spicy.
Okay, they're having a cum oath. All 4 of them are going to have a little taste of her. So, Connor starts, and then Shane and Connor have like an eye connection. And so Shane stops.
They already know.
Mikey or Liam, you're up. So then Mikey or Liam was like, well, now that he hasn't blew his load. And I was like, thank you. At least they're not doing that. At least the brothers aren't licking after one of the other ones. See?
Yeah.
So he's like, now that Connor hasn't blown his load, I'm going to get a taste of this sweet cream. The twins are at it, and then the next thing is Shane is like, I'm getting in this ass tonight. And he's like, is it okay if me and Connor do it? Since you've had the twins.
Can me and Connor share you?
Yeah, and she's like,
so the twins sharing her is hot. Don't get me wrong. But there is something about, and maybe because they're my two favorites, there is something about Connor and Shane sharing her.
You want to know what I think it is? Because I've thought about this. I think it's because they're both very dominant and they're both
very alpha.
Yeah.
Yes. I think you're right.
And then because Shane is bigger. She makes this clear.
He's bigger than all the brothers.
He's the biggest one. And he's going in the A-hole. He's going in the no-no hole. So Connor is like, oh, you gotta hurry up. She's squeezing me.
She's milking me.
Yeah, milking me like a vice grip. And I'm like, how? But
because she's tense.
He takes her cheeks and spreads them. Yeah, visual. I don't know if y'all see it. I got my hands together and I'm spreading the booty cheeks, okay?
Oh, they don't think you're spreading your actual ass cheeks.
I'm not spreading my actual cheeks. I said my hands are... Okay, we're going to pass this, okay? But he takes his hands and he spreads the cheeks to make it easier for Shane to get access to her asshole.
That's hot.
And he's like...
That's hot.
Just relax. And she's like...
Ow. I can't.
She's like, ow.
I mean, yeah, ow, fuck.
I'm scared with Josh. I'm scared with the thumb. I'd be scared with the pinky, let alone the biggest of them all. So she's like, once they're both in, she's like, okay, you can both move now.
He looks at the twins and he says, is she tight here? And they're like, yeah, bro.
But she can
like,
take
she's
you.
not even there. And she's like, how is that hot right now? He's talking about me like I'm not even here and it's turning me on. And then they say, but she can take you. Oh my God.
Talk about family connections.
Yeah. Oh my God. Take it back.
No.
It's like incest.
Just saying.
So, they take her.
And she takes it all. And she's loving it. And then Shane, after they're all sated and spent, Shane picks her up in his arms and carries her to his room. And she's like, what are you doing? No. He's like, we're gonna get you cleaned up, or I'm gonna get you cleaned up. And he starts her a bubble bath and puts the oils in there. And she gets in and then he starts undressing. And she's like, what are you doing? You think I'm going to pass up an opportunity to get
naked with you?
Yeah, with bubbles or something like that. And she's like, why are you being so nice? I'm always nice to you, hacker. No, you're not. You're usually an ass to me. And I like it. I don't know how to handle you when you're being sweet to me like this. He goes on to say, okay, well, I'll be back to being an asshole to you tomorrow. And she said, yes, please. I love asshole Shane. Oh my gosh.
And then
so everyone is like the happiest they've ever been. And they have to go handle some business. Shane asks her to go with her and she said, no, I'm getting waxed and you wouldn't want me to miss that. And he said, wax. And he said, no, you shouldn't miss that appointment. I'm going into town to get body waxed. Okay.
And now that everybody's happy, here comes the plot twist.
Every time. Why can't we just have a happy ending? Every time. So she stays. And she goes to town. She's like on cloud 9. She is so at peace. She's never been happier. And she goes, parks her car. She's in the garage. And she gets approached by this bear-like man. And starts talking about, your father wants to see you or something. She's like, my father's dead. First off, maybe it's just me. Warning, warning, warning. Red alert, red alert.
Yeah.
I saw my father bleed out.
Red flags.
Like, why were you just, like, dumbfounded? Like, I get that's your dad. You think he's alive, whatever. But and she doesn't believe him. So then the father shows his face.
I mean, how can you not, like,
but
believe it when you see his freaking face there? He's different, but she hasn't seen her in 8 years. She's like, what has he been through? He survived this death. He watched my mom die. He watched my my twin brothers get slaughtered. Okay, he's gonna be different.
She keeps making excuses, but my thing is, if I've been searching for my daughter for 10 years, the very first thing I'm going to do is hug her, look at her face, tell her I love her. There's going to be an emotional reunion. I don't care if I'm in a hurry or not. It's not going to be, get us into the apartment so we can get going. Move, move, move. I'm not going to snap at her. And if I was a daughter, I would be like, I get that something that stuff's happened, but you should be ecstatic to see me alive. And he wasn't.
He's been searching for her for 8+ years. She's dumbfounded. In the shock of the moment, I can kind of see where she was believing him, but also like confused. And
I get her hesitant, and I get her reaction with making excuses for him.
Now, would I have had the heart to leave my boys?
No.
I don't think I could have. I would have been like, I have to wait for my boys to come back. And he lied to her. They're going to hand you over to the wolf.
Yeah.
They've been reaching out. They have been reaching out. They've been reaching out to look for the wolf because they don't want the wolf to find her. They've been reaching out to figure out what's going on with this document of marriage. They're trying to find more information about it.
Yeah.
I couldn't have left without talking to them, like confronting them. Like, he says, you're preparing to hand me over. How could you do this?
I'm immediately,
I could not have just left.
I couldn't have either. I was like, oh no, Aaron did that. I was like, oh, Aaron. My immediate thought was like, that bitch.
I feel like you're on the right track.
I feel like it was her.
I feel like you're on the right track.
And then she was like, he looks like my father, but he doesn't. And she's making excuses for him.
For all the years that have passed and all the things that have been...
Yes, and the way that he talks, and I have it written down here, like, would you have believed him? Would you have gone? I wouldn't have gone.
I don't think I would have gone.
Or I would have thought, I'd be like, no. If you want me gone, you have this bear of a man.
You're going to have to pull me away kicking and screaming.
I'm not leaving, though, until this is all confronted.
The letter she left
pissed me off. And I even have it.
It's been fun, but it's time for me to move on.
Hey, boys, thanks for everything. It's been a blast, but it's time for me to move on. I'm better off on my own, after all. Please don't come after me. Love, Jessie X. Because her father said she couldn't give any...
indication of where she went.
You're packing your bag, or you could have texted them. You could have hid a note in your room somewhere. You could have done something, regardless of whether your dad's saying that about you or not. You could have at least given them
a tidbit.
Yes, something.
The only thing they had going for them was that they had cameras set up, and she either didn't think about it or she didn't care because she wanted to see them to see.
Yeah. I think, obviously, she's a hacker. She knew there was cameras there. I think she didn't care. Mm-hmm. I think she wanted them to see her leave at her own free will. But I also think subconsciously she was like, I want them to see
that I was sort of taken. Shane's point of view just broke me. Like, Connor had just started coming back around to himself. The twins were so happy. Shane was happy, and she shattered them
elevator ride up when they got home. One of the twins had a huge bear in their arms for her. I think it was Connor. Yeah. Bought her a tennis bracelet in pink diamonds because that's her favorite color. And then Connor opens the door and was like, Jessie, we're home, Angel. And I was like, oh my God, no.
I like how he calls her Angel, but he's really the angel.
I was definitely emotional. And then the fact that Shane saw that letter first. He knew what was coming, but he was in denial. He was like, maybe she's just saying she went out to get something to eat. Maybe she is saying that she will be back or whatever. And I'm like, you know. And they look at the security feed, and Mikey's like, we have to find her. Like, something's not right. We have to find her. And Shane, immediately, when he read that letter, he's like, I'm done. She's dead to me. Because she hurt him. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to find her.
She's going to wish she had never heard the name Ryan. What a last line.
My overall thought, and I have it written here. I don't feel like that is her real dad. I think it might be a twin. I also think Aaron set it up, and her mom was supposed to marry the dad, lookalike, but ran away and changed her identity with her actual father.
It tracks.
That is my guess.
I have some questions for you. If you had to pick, if this was not a why choose, who would you pick? Same.
Or Liam.
I don't know. Connor's my baby.
Connor's my top. My top pick is Connor. Because Connor's got everything. He's got the sweetness, but he's also got that badness that if I need it. And Liam, I just feel like he's like that broken soul and he needs to be fixed.
So is Connor.
Yeah. But so yeah, Connor's my top dude.
How do you feel about cliffhanger books?
It depends on if the next book is already out.
Same. If these books had not already been out before I read this, I would have been in shambles. So next week we're doing Wild Love by Elsie Silver. Our next 3 options will be Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, Beautiful Graves by L.J. Shin, and
The Lies We Tell by Becca Steele.
So vote, comment, let us know how you liked this podcast, and we will see you next week. Bye. Baby. Fuck.